high-stakes matches today. Our first best of 5, winner gets into the semis. Second best of 5, loser goes home.
Yeah, pretty massive. So again, we are still going to be on the pre-Bastion patch today. So 1.7 is the patch we are on. It seems like probably we still haven't gotten a specific date so far from Blizzard, but it looks more and more like after Group A is complete is when the patch will be changing. Maybe not until the end of the quarterfinals.
Yeah, we will see as time goes on. And there's basically a really confusing graphic saying what we just told you. Don't worry about it. Listen to us. We will guide you. We are your caster Sherpas of the Everest of esports.
That's right. You are the lead adventurer, and we are here to carry all your watching gear.
We're here to help you have a better time doing what you love to do. That's the idea. Well, Group B, which we'll see a little bit later, Meta Athena versus Afrika Blue, and of course Hyundai Panthera versus LW Blue. Man, this season, I mean, with the double elimination format, we are really going to get an amazing semifinals, and hopefully out of that, an amazing finals.
Yeah, I think that there's no question that the semis and finals should be of higher quality this season than we saw in Season 1, where one side of the bracket ended up being super stacked, finals ended up being a sweep. Still possible, of course, but I think highly unlikely.
Yeah. Funny enough, Afrika Blue still sticking around this season. More to talk about that later on, maybe next week or something. Yeah, that's right. Lunatic versus Runaway in our first best of 5, as we've already mentioned. And then Envious fighting for survival versus Kongdu Uncia. Surprising, I guess, to see Kongdu Uncia down there with how dominant they looked in the group stages. But in their playoff match, they really looked off.
Well, against Cloud9 and then against Runaway, we didn't see the same tight efficiency over their ultimates that had come to characterize this team in the first half of the season. So I'm not sure exactly what's going wrong there, but it's definitely not the same caliber of communication or coordination that we had seen from them earlier in the season.
It was odd, you know, because it wasn't one specific thing or like one or two specific things that got drastically worse. It was kind of everything got worse in sort of like a mediocre kind of way, which to me anyway says maybe there's some sort of like nerve issues going on. The team just...
Or team trouble. You never know.
It's hard to say.
You never know, but I think it's unusual to see something like ult efficiency really decrease by that much noticeably.
Well, that's probably a communication thing.
Yeah, because that's something that the team themselves control, and they didn't used to sort of just wildly throw all their ultimates out there like we've seen them doing. Traditionally, they've been super on top of that efficiency. So a bit odd for sure. But let's get back to this match, because this one's going to be super interesting, and I really like this Genji matchup, and special shout out to Winston's Lab. Follow them at Winston's Lab on Twitter. Go to winstonsLab.com. Probably the best statistics site out there right now for professional Overwatch. And you can do things like I'm about to tell you. It's a big free ad.
Go for it. It's good, though. I mean,
it's a
we
great
use the
community
site every day. We actually
it's
do.
It's very important for us because we don't have access to the API or statistics any other way right now through Blizzard.
We're not programmers. So.
Yeah, exactly. But Haksal and Who Are You? When we look at their Genjis, one of the biggest things that we've seen from a lot of Genji players is the efficiency of their ultimates, right? And so far, Haksal has been about 8 seconds faster on building his first ult, and then slightly faster in terms of ults per minute. And over a long stretch of time, this can make a big difference because it seems like Haksal is getting more of an opportunity to use that Dragon Blade first. And if you can get that down, that can, say, win a team fight that captures you the first point on Assault or Hybrid, or allows you to push the cart just a little bit further. So these are things that we'll be taking a look at tonight, those timings on the ultimates, how the Genjis are doing, because that's the real story in this first match.
Yeah, and it's not only the Genji play on an individual level too, but how the team plays around the Genji as well, which is something to keep an eye on.
Well, we saw in the interview too, Haksal saying, "Who are you?" You know, we're gonna, well, let's learn about
video
our players.
time.
It's time for a video.
Miro.
완전 포석조입니다. 자, 그런데 생체 소리 다 알았던 것들도 한번 같이 넣어줘야 되거든요. 중력 자탄 이후에 호비, 줌바 둘, 줌바 셋. 네, 잠깐만. 자, 중력 자탄. 오히려 줌바가. 에너지는 역시 핫하고요. 이러면 죽어야 돼요. 네, 어떡하죠? 진짜. 자, 셋. 잘 가라. 와.
Zumba. DPX.
끝났는데
후아요가 뒤에서. 에스카까지
자, 이러면 시간 거의 다 돼요. 자, 시간 다 됐어요.
Eska.
상세.
초월 모든 걸 상승.
그리고 줌바.
대지부사가 들어갔습니다. 아무도 없어요.
용병신 썰고 에스카까지.
Who are you? Support.
자, 큐빅까지 하나 더. 조금 전진. 근데 1점입니다. 그렇게 혼자서 얼마를 미는 거예요? 와!
Toby.
답답하게 되고. 이거 딜러, 이거 힐딜러. 역시 오히려 하나 더 일로 와. 일로 와. 여기 하지마. 손좀
Ryu Jae-hong. Lunatic High.
Oh yeah, that's what I like to see. Support highlights, and man, these guys deserve them. Toby, such amazing Lucio play lately, and I mean, there's really nothing more you need to say about Jae-hong.
Yeah, the supports and tanks obviously characterize and color the play of Lunatic High overall. I think it says something that the coolest clip we could find of Eska was him using Tank Visor.
Yeah, that is a little bit sad. Isn't it? Come on, there's got to be some good May plays in there somewhere.
There are. I kid. He has been good, I think, especially on that May. But there's no doubt that the DPS play is not the central focus of Lunatic High. And what I was trying to say before this is that's what we heard from Hoxall in that interview. Who are you 1v1 me when you don't have your best on a player in the world, Jae-hong, to back you up?
Yeah.
So who are you definitely shines as a result of his team playing so well around him. And just like compared to last season, Hoxall has gotten more space because players like Stitch have come onto the team and therefore they can't just focus on him anymore. There are more threats on Runaway that you have to deal with.
Yeah, very true. Lunatic High, though, I think undoubtedly coming into this one as the favorite. But this season has certainly been a season of upsets, though. So you never quite know what's going to happen.
I think Lunatic High probably has a pretty strong chance of winning this particular series. Their teamwork has been basically second to none, even though we have criticized them a little bit when it comes to that strategic diversity. Showed a little bit more, but not a lot more in that last match.
See, you're right. They should. But then again, this is Apex. Now let's learn a little bit about their opponents. It's Runaway.
Runaway. Flex. Cox. Tank. Kaiser.
못 미는 그림이죠. 네, 여기까지죠.
그냥 정리를 싹 해버리겠다.
힘들죠.
자, 러시아 2.
앞에다 그냥 묶어놓고 물진으로 두피고 라인에서 밀어내고 힐맨.
Bumper. DPX.
방금 자, 용가. 그렇죠. 박살. 잡기. 그냥. 잠깐만. 얘가 세계 1위다.
보자가 둘. 보자가 없어요. 보자리 둘. 세상에 저와.
Axal.
견제할 거 없어요.
미친 돌자.
했어야 되는데 공격으로 오히려 본인이 못 들어간 상태였다가 급속기가 바로 빠진 기회를 못 맞췄어요.
그렇죠. 자,
Stitch. Support. Runner. Runaway.
And Runaway. Yeah, not a lot of people expected these guys to be here, but here they are.
In their Midwestern grandma sweater uniforms.
Yeah, that's right. I saw many a grandma in my youth in the Midwest wearing sweaters just like didn't have the Tracer logo, but he was
They
usually,
should have.
He was usually like a fluffy cat in like pastels, but very similar.
The Runaway text is in a pastel for you. So.
Yeah, there you go. Close enough.
Looking good. There's Kaiser on the end, and Kaiser really had a standout match I think, last time around. When they faced up against Kongdu Uncia, we think about Panker as being one of the strongest Reinhardt players in Korea.
Sure.
And consistently, Kaiser was the guy who was winning the Reinhardt mind games. He was the one landing the big earth shatters and contributed greatly to his team's victory. So he really stepped up, whether that was an overperformance for a single day or a facet of Kaiser's play that we're going to see moving forward at a more consistent level is definitely something to look out for as he goes up against Miro.
Yeah. Playing Runner again today on support, not using Coma like they did in their last match of the group stages.
Yeah, from talking to the players, it seems like Runner really... So, Runner has become very well known for streaming on Africa, a different streaming service here in Korea. After the games, talking about how they won or lost and doing a lot of analysis. So he's been a famous streamer, but he's really put his all into this. He's compiled a lot of strategies, and because he was the one who crafted the strategies for beating Kongdu Uncia, and he's the shot caller, the team really just feels more comfortable having him there to tweak their team compositions and adjust the strategy on the fly because it's all coming from him anyway.
Right. It's kind of like the old Tyrone Lucio days back at like the World Cup,
Yes.
or with Afrika Blue once in a while. You need that strategist, right? And it makes sense that the Lucio player is kind of the cheerleader for the team too. So lore-wise, I accept it as well.
And the question is his somewhat questionable positioning at times worth that cost? Would he be better going to a full coach role and transitioning, teaching Koma or someone else on the team, Cox, how to shot call effectively? It's up in the air, but for now they're relying on him because they feel like he brings that tactical element. But,
Sure.
you know, when you beat Kongdu Uncia, it's hard to argue.
Well, so far so good anyway. Looks like we're starting things off on Oasis for our control map. And both these teams, of course, having pretty good records in control overall. Both of them are 3-1 this season.
But I really have to tip this map to Runaway's advantage, Doa. And the reason why is because Eska, Farah is so good on two of the points on Oasis that have that high verticality. And we've seen... I don't believe that Eska's going to be able to step up to fill that Farah role, whereas Stitch will be able to play Farah, and they should have a tactical advantage based on their team composition.
Yep, true enough. Well, enjoy three-shotting Farah while you can, Anna players.
Hey, those changes have
Seems,
not gone through yet. Doa's
it's still PTR, but
Doa's acting.
I'm preparing the funerary shroud right as we speak. Let's get into our first map of the day, guys. Oasis Lunatic High versus Runaway. Who takes the early lead? You know, Monty, I just looked at the PTR notes today, and my first thought was, yes, this confirms it. Being a Zenyatta main was the right choice. You made the right choice, though.
I'm excited for new Winston. If those, I really hope
That
those changes don't go through.
that's
All right,
insane,
Sombra, I
actually.
think, is already very powerful. We've seen what Rascal can do with it. I think the
Yeah.
Sombra buffs are too much, especially when I feel like Sombra's a hero that just requires a lot of teamwork and coordination to play, and the pros haven't mastered her yet. And
Sure.
when we saw shades of Sombra with Kongdu Panthera, I started to get very scared. And Translocator buff, cooldown buff is pretty huge.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. It's a lot of stuff on that PTR that's worth discussion. But for now, it's time for some Overwatch. Jumping into the university point here.
All right, this is the point that is less likely to feature Farah, so I'm not surprised that Stitch is going for the Zarya.
Yeah.
As you can see with all the choke points, we have seen most teams opt for heavy crowd control to catch teams in the front choke of this point. Eska back on his usual McCree.
Lunatic High taking a very aggressive stance on the point while they wait for it to begin. Who are you just hopping over the wall, doing what damage you can, and now Runaway diving in as the point becomes unlocked. Doing some decent damage in, but gets the kill onto Stitch, actually. And so Runaway, down a man, are going to have to back off and give that one to Lunatic High to start off.
Just backing off for now. Huxel did get a kill onto Eska, though, so we're back into a 5v5, and that's a good hook.
Yeah, a great biotic grenade from J-Home, too. Not a lot of follow-up from it, but it does keep Runaway back anyway. Who are you? Gets an Andrews. Oh, he gets hooked, though. Manages to get out of that somehow. puts a reflect up and gets away. Didn't really get to make use of the nano boost though. Doesn't matter, Zumba got a couple kills and Lunatic are gonna hold fine.
Yeah, they were distracted at the very least. Yeah, he didn't get a lot of ult charge off of that, but guess what? Lunatic had already flipped the point, so the distraction was enough. They used one ultimate, but they get 30% on the point, so buying time, and Runaway will come back with Cox having his nano boost available.
Yep. Where you nearly has his Dragon Blade up, as we can see. Runaway just trying to come in through the front door, it looks like. Mira up front with the shield. Zinba got the Graviton Surge ready to go. Oxall jumping in. He's going to use the Graviton Surge right now. And who are you? Trying to capitalize on it. Gets two. I'd say killing both supports is properly capitalized on it. Wants to finish off the Roadhog too. It looks like he'll probably be able to do it. Yeah, there goes Bumper. And Lunatic looking pretty dominant so far on the University stage.
Yeah, they definitely are. I didn't even see who the nano boost went down onto
Yeah,
from Runaway. So, but we heard it go off, didn't actually see the target. It wasn't on the Reinhardt, it wasn't on Kaiser, but great combination to start things off with. Who were you building up that Dragon Blade? And Zunbo was at that time about 40% of an ult charge ahead of Stitch. Capitalizing on those advantages.
Kaiser the Earth Shatter now, looking for an opportunity to use that.
You're only at 46%, so.
Yep. Gonna charge in, wow, repositioning. Has to just put up the shield again, and he gets in trouble, throws down the Earth Shatter. Doesn't look like he got a lot with it, though. Nope. He's got Toby cornered. No, Toby on the escape, and Kaiser way out of the fight for a long time. It's a bit of a brawl on all sides of the point right now, but Runaway are slowly picking up kills here.
And it was a desperate play, Doa, but it will work out. They did bisect the team at the very least and push Lucio out of line of sight with the Reinhardt. Wasn't spectacular, but it does end up working. Stitch will get his ult all the way charged up, but it was 99-0 when the point flips over, and Lunatic approaching 5 ultimates right now. They should be in a comfortable position. Again, this is where we see good teams make a couple of dry pushes, don't use their ultimate, and just make sure that they have that overwhelming advantage. Try and burn or bleed out some of the ults from the enemy team.
Nano Boost was used on somebody right there. Looks like Hawksall was the recipient.
Yep.
Went for the kill on Namiro. There he gets it, but again, you know, this isn't the biggest deal. Lunatic just building the ultimates. They've got 5 now.
That's all they needed to do. They got 2 ults, now they have 5 up. This is the push they wanted, and they still have 60% remaining to maybe even lose this fight. It would be unlikely for them to do so, but definitely possibility.
This is the one they probably want to win, because Runaway is a ways away from a lot of ultimates. And who are you coming in with a Nano Blade? Cox goes down almost immediately, and there's a Graviton Surge to set up more. Lunatic crushes the team fight. An easy block on the self-destruct, and it looks like Lunatic are going to take back the point, and they are going to take University.
Yeah, well, actually, Runner is creeping. He was
he's not there in time! Oh, poor Runner. Didn't run fast enough.
Slightly misjudging that. I mean, sure he didn't make the point, but it was still highly unlikely they would have been able to flip that back. As only Cox was alive, he would have died instantly.
Right.
And that probably would have been it. So, not the end of the world for Runaway. Now, that University, I think, is the point where they were going to be the weakest. They have the weaker Zarya player for sure, compared to Zunba on Runaway, and that one does favor a strong tank line. But now that we're going to be moving into one of the other 2 points, this is where the Pharah can really open up. And are they going to run it? It's like, no. I'm a bit surprised Stitch is going to be
I wonder
on the Tracer instead.
I wonder if he's worried about Jaehyung, and if I was a fair player, I certainly would be. You can't, if that's his concern, you can't blame him. And you combine that with who are you?
I think Hawksall, though, can, to a certain degree, help to shut down Jaehyung if you have a Genji player that skilled. But
you'd hope so.
At the very least, Stitch should be winning the Tracer battle against Eska.
Miro and who are you taking the high ground early on, but that's a lot of damage coming in from Cox, actually. Miro backing away now. Runaway dove very deeply here. Jaehyung going down early on. Hawksall does get that early kill. Eska kind of on his own. Now who are you just dueling with Cox, but Cox gets cut down. And Lunatic, despite losing a couple, they've got the early edge on the point right now. If they can take down Bumper, maybe they can take it. Yeah, Bumper knocked out of the mech right now, delaying as long as he can. And can they hold the point?
It was like 2 for 2 right there, and it was just a D-suit. Now, one more death for Bumper, but who are you gets taken out. It's been basically even this entire time. Jaehyung back up, not going to be able to reflect any damage on to finish off Jaehyung, though.
Toby right there. Oxall chasing down the Lucio now. Getting booped away, but he's not going to survive. Runaway on the verge of taking this point back themselves, but it's such a brawl. Bumper goes down yet again. Runaway standing on the point for the moment, but they're having a hard time finally taking down Eska. There we go, and so they will take the point first.
And this is much more what I expected off of this particular point, though. Runaway players that maintain pretty big advantages on certain parts of Oasis in the metagame that's developed on this map since release.
Yeah. Well, it's like you said, they do have better DPS, and on a scrappy map like this, that counts for a lot. Cox getting pushed back a bit. Not too far, though. Has a nano boost. Will he use it? Who are you? Looking for kills, though. Finds Runner. Takes him down. It's a good start. Hawksall gets Toby, though. It's not a good day to be Lucio, or any support, really, man. Pretty even on both sides, though. Eska gets hit with that biotic grenade, trying to finish off Cox. And, oh, wow, Cox falls to Zunba in the end. Yeah, that was really close. I thought Eska was going to buy it there, but they still haven't flipped the point, though. Runaway's still building up the control percent. Eska throws down the pulse bomb. I thought the Diva was already self-destructing there, so, or at least getting out of the suit or something. That was interesting.
Yeah, it was self-destructing.
Yeah.
That was quite odd use of pulse bomb. I'm not sure what he expected to have happen there.
Made sure it blew up, I guess. Who are you with the nano boost? Not finding a lot of targets, though. Maybe Hawksall. He's so low. Nice reflect. Got that up just in time. Oh, he went down, though. Stitch finished him off.
It's really fun to watch these Tracer and Genji pairs go after each other, but time and time again, it looks like Runaway's getting that slight edge, getting the initial kill, which then snowballs into a victory on the point, and now we're seeing exactly the opposite of what we witnessed in the first point, which is likely going to be a 99. And it's only whether Lunatic can take this back. They have the sound barrier, but nothing else to work with right now. And Cox is going to pick off Eska early.
Oh, that's really big. That's going to stop Lunatic's push cold right there.
Instant aggression.
Yeah.
From Runaway trying to push them back as far as they can. Stitch with the pulse bomb up now, but they're still building charge. But the fact that they got that kill means that they're going to get some more ultimate charge for this defense at 99, which is fantastic for 99, Runaway.
They got to get to the point. Okay, there's the OT. Lunatic coming in now. They need to try to flip it back right here. Who are you?
Sleep dart.
He gets slept. Very nice. Uses up that blade the rest of the way. Stitch comes in, still pulse bomb. There's a primal rage from Miro, just keeping Stitch off the point. Only 19 health, he gets knocked down. And who are you? Takes on Hawksall. There's a chance here. Zunba's still on the point. They're finally pushing back the opposing Winston as well. Just got to get rid of Bumper and a couple supports here. Runaway. Nobody on the point. They're going to let it flip. Okay.
So maybe
close call.
Maybe a little bit of an overreach from Runaway to ult the Winston with the nano boost. But they could have saved it and had it for another counter push here when they had the Dragon Blade up.
Well, it seemed like they went really far towards spawn, too, just to try to keep Runaway from even getting to the point when it ended, or keep Lunatic from getting to the point, and I think that kind of got him a little bit out of position there.
Yeah, key part is going to be Runner with the sound barrier. This has got to work.
Yep, that's right. Eska low health already. Hawksall taken down very quickly. Lunatic holding for the moment. Eska trying to finish off Cox right now. He's got to deal with Toby as well. Tracer versus the supports here. Diva coming down to help out, though. Runaway forming up on that corner. Oh, he manages to take down Cox in the back line. Zunba helping out. Eska actually putting on a performance on this Tracer. Really a lot better than we've seen him on the Tracer in recent games.
Yeah, nice cleanup. Was struggling a bit as this map started, but finally managed to pick off multiple members. And Runaway, Runner has had some odd timings on his sound barriers since he's been back playing again. And that was a good example. They used that so early at the start of the fight that by the time everybody engaged, it was already ticking down and meant that they couldn't actually stick out as long as they wanted to and got picked off early.
Oh, Eska got the grenade to be used on Cox himself. Miro takes on Runner early. There's both supports. That push is not going to work out. And they're going to have to reset again already. Goodbye.
Yeah, this is going to be kind of a disaster moment for Runaway, too, because Toby used a sound barrier there, but otherwise they have 4 more ultimates available. Runaway is running out of time right now, and it looks like they're going to be heading in at a disadvantage. So some outplays need to occur here for Runaway.
Eska keeping watch over the Runaway push here. There's a pulse bomb. Did he get him? No, not quite. But Cox still very low anyway. Has to deal with Miro as well. They're really focusing on taking down Cox. Runner goes down in the meantime. Both supports out again. It's OT, but this is a fight that Lunatic should absolutely win. And who are you is going to put the period on the end of this sentence. And we are nearly to the end of Oasis here, where it looks like Lunatic in a great position to 2-0. If they can just push back the rest of Runaway. Kaiser surviving a long time on the point, though. in Primal Rage, but that should be about it. OT ticking down. They get a few people back to the point, though. Runner is back. Who Are You does go down. Cox switched over to that Soldier 76. We know he can play the DPS role. And OT kept alive for the moment, but as soon as they leave, it's going to be so slow. Hoxall denied. That ult doing basically nothing. Runaway, though, still getting more people back on the point. I know, this is kind of crazy. Long OT push here, but as soon as they leave the point, the OT bar is going to drop so fast.
Yeah, they're trying to preserve it as long as they can. Get that self-destruct when it makes sense, which is right now as he's desuited, but that's a clutch kill. And that's going to be a nice shot by Eska on the desuiting Diva to make sure that overtime ends. And I really think that that's kind of going to be the series in a nutshell, Doa. When we have these points that play to Runaway's strengths, it comes down to how efficiently they can coordinate as a team. But when Runaway doesn't have those strengths in their favor, I think it's going to be Lunatic High rolling all over them. Lunatic High had a lot of disadvantages to start off that push, but some misuses of ultimates after the 99-0 point, I think really threw off Runaway, and you can really see how disciplined Lunatic High is in that category.
And I really want to point out Runner here, too, where, yeah, he may be the strategist, he may be the guy who keeps everybody's mind in the right place on the team, but when it comes to Lucio v. Lucio, Toby is just objectively a much better Lucio player in many ways than Runner is apparently right now. And that little thing makes a difference when the teams are so close, DPS-wise.
We see a lot of Genji plays in the game here tonight, and it's going to be a start-up right here, and then we're going to see a Graviton Surge. Oh my.
See, sometimes when I'm playing a solo queue game and a Genji just comes in and kills me, I feel terrible. I'm like, oh, why didn't I see that coming? Why couldn't I stop it? And then I see this, and like, even the pros, you know? No. It's just Genji things. And don't feel so bad.
Yeah, and we saw both teams. How do they react when they're up 99-0? Decisive from Lunatic High. Yeah. Well coordinated. Runaway botched their approach and then allowed the ultimate game to level back out. And from that point, Lunatic High's teamwork and coordination really took over.
Yeah, it's a really good point as well. So we're going to see what the next map is going to be. It's going to be Runaway's choice for our hybrid map. Eichenwald, Hollywood, and Nimbani are the choices. And it's going to be Eichenwald. Okay. Map we haven't seen in a little while here on Apex. Now, on the last match that Runaway played against Kongda Uncia, they struggled a lot on King's Row. They didn't even take point A. It's a different map, of course, but Escort or Hybrid rather, has not really been their cup of tea. They're 2-2 this season overall.
The sad thing for Runaway moving forward is that Lunatic High is undefeated on all map types that are not controlled.
Yeah.
So they've been I think Lunatic High has been definitively the best assault team this season. That's where you really don't want to face them, but Hybrid coming in as a pretty close second, and Runaway, they haven't necessarily had the level of coordination to win a lot of these hybrid matches.
That's right.
And we've seen now the diversification of some of the strategies from Lunatic High. Could very well see a Torbjorn here.
We'll find out. Runaway trying to tie things up here in this best of 5. Lunatic High looking to go up 2-0. Let's get in the game and see who takes it. Welcome to beautiful Eichenwald. Yeah, I know it's destroyed, but it's still, you know, it looks nice.
It's lovely in its decay, isn't it?
It is. It is indeed.
Picturesque.
It looks like a good candidate for gentrification. You know, some maybe little quaint coffee shops, some, you know, macaron stores, perhaps.
No, I'm over that, Noah.
Some cake shops, you know, artisanal cakes.
No, I'm
perhaps,
done. I'm done with it.
Right here, right where those turrets are going up in this hallway. A very unique space for an artisanal cake shop, if I do say so myself.
Well, you could open one in Germany, Doa, when you retire.
When I retire, it's never happening.
Never
Esports
retire.
for life. I'm too poor. Esports, please.
Well, Toby going to be on the Symmetra. And one of the reasons why I think when we talk about Lunatic High, they have been statistically excellent in every category. But where they've struggled more on those control maps, it's because a lot of their compositions, even though we have seen them play Tracer, Eska's Tracer has not been among the best in this tournament. Where do they succeed? When they have Mei, when they have Soldier or McCree, when they can set up these longer range defenses or play around Mei walls. And that's where they are at their most dangerous.
Right.
As opposed to brawling, getting in the trenches with a Genji and a Tracer, where it's not like they're bad, it's just they're not as good at it.
Yeah.
So we will see
we
Stitch
go.
on Pharah, finally.
Yep, coming around from behind, and very calm response to that Symmetra. Pretty common response to the Symmetra as well. If you're playing the Symmetra, you don't want to see the Pharah come out, but as long as you can, yeah, it really does. As long as you can build up your ultimate, you're going to be okay. But that's a lot harder to do when all your turrets are getting picked off without hitting anyone.
Yep. Who are you? Going to be on the Roadhog for the time being. Zumba getting an early kill onto the front line. Eska
all right.
picks off Haksal as he parkours over the houses, and Stitch is, for some reason, underneath the arch where it's very easy to shoot him as Zarya.
You know, and I was going to say, Toby, maybe having trouble building himself, but look at that, up to about 65% already. So he's actually either been landing a lot of right clicks or somehow finding damage with those turrets that Stitch hasn't been picking off.
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
And even if you have the Pharah on Eichenwald where you can go over the... Oh, actually, Eska dies to a Fire Strike?
Oh, that was interesting. Normally you don't have that low health to die from it. Who are you?
Maybe Pharah. Well, there's
no Pharah.
There's no
Stitch is
Pharah
on the
anymore.
Roadhog. Yep.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, a bit surprised to see the switch. I think it was okay, but not working out either way. Toby waiting for it. Time to set up the teleporter, it looks like. I think he might be waiting to see what happens in this fight. Haksal gets one. That's a good start for Runaway. Gets two. Miro goes down as well, but Eska pops attack visor, trying to equalize it. Meanwhile, Toby lurking. I believe he did set up the teleporter.
Yep, was a teleporter.
He did. All right, now jumping onto the point, hoping everybody can get back in time, but it's looking a bit grim already. No, the teleporter up just in time, and Lunatic high back on the point. Bumper with the nano boost, though. Runaway trying to close this point A out. He's going to get pinned, though. Still has about half his health remaining, and he couldn't build up that Graviton Surge in time to help with the big push. So looks like Lunatic High is going to hold.
The timing
Cox
there
goes down.
on the teleporter was so good.
Oh, yeah.
You can see the quality of Lunatic High's communication as a team, waiting very patiently to see what the outcome, like you said, Doe, was going to be. Are they just going to be able to use the shield generator, which is generally the more powerful choice? But sometimes, based on the timing where they were already pushing in when the teleporter was put down, you're going to be several men down at that point. So you've got to go, unfortunately, with that teleporter instead.
Yeah. It's not bad, it's just not as good. Bumper's got the Graviton Surge, but that's the only ult they've got. He's going to use it anyway, though. Really long range. Toby does go down in the middle of all that. Stitch has a whole hog, not soon enough to really use it. May come out from behind here, possibly. I think they're kind of searching for that teleporter, too.
I mean, that's a heartbreaker of a timing when you have that whole hog just a few seconds after the Graviton goes down, knowing that you may have been able to take out several members with a strong ult combo, but Runaway not patient enough to have that work out. Looks like they're going to be pushed back one more time. 50 seconds on the clock.
I mean, that's also maybe indicative of not the best communication from Runaway's side, too. You know, Bumper needs to be saying, hey, man, I've got this Graviton Surge. Anybody else close to an ult? Stitch needs to go, yeah, I've almost got whole hog. Can we use this? But that didn't happen.
Toby has switched off the Symmetra, so we'll be on the Lucio now. All right, there are not going to be reinforcements. This is Runaway's shot. They have 5 ults. This push has to work. It should.
Down to 25 seconds. It really has to work. Here we are going in. Haksal with the Nano Blade. For whatever kills he can get. Who are you taking down first? They're going to drop the Graviton Surge. Sound barrier on Runaway. Trying to keep people up. Miro very low. This push working quite well. And looks like they'll finally get the payload rolling. Almost in overtime.
Yeah, it's so much time off the clock, though. 4 minutes evaporating for Runaway, so they get it. But that second push is a long, long way away, and you lose time with the opening of this portcullis as well.
Yeah, and the thing is that on Eichenwald, the second stage, unlike King's Row, unlike maybe, you know, Route 66 sometime, it's not a gimme. You don't go through it very quickly. You see teams get stopped here a lot. With only 2 minutes left on the clock, this is a golden opportunity for Lunatic High. Haksal, though, getting the back somehow, being a sneaky ninja, taking down Eska. Looks like he might have.
That nullifies the high ground setup. That's actually really good for Runaway.
I'm surprised he got back there. Kind of on his own now. Zimba's going to roast him. Bumper back on the point right now, trying to push Zimba away. Toby, just, you know, why not? I mean, you get the delay as long as you can. You've got plenty of time to get back.
You just can't push this payload. They've lost too many players. Everybody has to back off and regroup, and now a minute has been spent just getting it through the gateway here of the castle.
He's trying. Oh, he should have maybe taken that damage. Goes down. There's a Graviton Surge now. Incoming from Runaway. Haksal grabs 2 kills.
All right, they really needed that, and they have to save this Dragon Blade.
Yeah.
It's really crucial that they're going to have that with the nano boost for this push if they want to make a smooth transition all the way into point B. Stitch on the high ground, though, with the attack visor, patiently waiting to see what Lunatic High rather is going to do.
Oh, it gets booped off, though, by Toby. And that's going to be a problem, man. Gets chased down by Toby and Eska. But, oh, there comes Attack Visor. He had it. Nano Boost added on to that. Cox grabs a couple kills for Lunatic High during all that, too. Graviton Surge used by Lunatic High to try to stabilize this fight, but it's a bit too late. Runaway running away with this second stage here on Eichenwald.
And Haksal maintains the Dragon Blade, but are they actually going to be able to push this through? Tack Visor up for Eska. He's positioning, waiting for the rest of his team. Can they get to the point fast enough or to the cart? They are going to stop it.
Odds contested. Eska went down really quick, though. Didn't get to use his ult. Haksal going after Jaehong now. It's nearly there. Zunba taken out early on. Jaehong just trying to stay alive, man. Not successful, though. And Lunatic High, despite the sound barrier, just trying to fight against a pretty strong tide of Runaway players here, and I don't think they're going to be able to stop the payload from getting there. Nope. They will not.
No, they are not. So, Runaway efficiently using that Dragon Blade. They held it until they absolutely needed it. Great patience. Communication is increasing, and Lunatic High burned quite a few ultimates without getting much in response. Eska switching to the Mei for the closed quarters on this last point here on Eichenwald.
Yeah. You know, you see the Mei a lot on point 2 as well, so I'm a little bit surprised he didn't switch to it earlier.
I think Soldier on the high ground on the keep is pretty strong.
It depends on how you want to play it. After they lost the high ground early on to Haksal, I feel like maybe it would have been a good time to switch, but it is what it is. Runaway pushing through the final castle stage here. Upper the Graviton Surge, gonna go ahead and use it. Doesn't catch a lot though. Where's the capitalizing? Stitch pulls out the attack visor, takes down Jaehong extremely quickly. Who are you? Nearly going down as well. And Runaway really steamrolling Lunatic High in this final point here.
This was their map, Doa. They selected it. They've shown beyond that struggle that they had with the initial point, some pretty good proficiency on this rolling through, and a lot of this is based on Haksal's Genji play. Haksal also on the main now, but it may not even matter. I mean, 30 seconds left, and they are 2.3 meters away.
Good Earth Shatter. They need to capitalize on it. Eska back there with the Mei, doing what he can. Everyone piling onto it. 15 seconds remaining. There's the Blizzard. This may be enough to prevent Runaway from getting all 3 points, especially with Who Are You coming in and getting 3 kills with that attack visor. Survives being frozen as well. Just 4 seconds remaining. They just have to keep Runaway off the point. And with the Graviton Surge, that'll be easy. So at the very end, it's almost 3 points, but it's not quite.
Yeah, I think it would have been had that point A capture not happened in 6 seconds with on the clock, right?
Probably.
The rest of the push was actually surprisingly fast, and most of it was Haksal's Genji winning a lot of 1v1 duels against Eska. If we talk about strategy, they're trying to use Haksal to create the picks in the backline, either on Jaehong or on Eska, and Eska really has been run over by Haksal so far.
Yeah. Haksal's been doing a good job of getting in the back lines, especially on that point 2, and really paving the way for a smooth push for Runaway. So, as you can see, it pretty much is 3 points. It didn't get there officially, of course, but it's about as close as you can make it.
Yeah, it's still, though, Lunatic High. Plenty of opportunities to push this all the way to the end, especially if they are not going to have the same difficulties on capturing the first point. So Runaway not going to be going with anything too unusual. No Symmetra, no Torbjorn for them. Stitch is rethinking his choice, though.
Yeah, may not want to start with that McCree, going over to the Soldier 76, just in case. And it looks like we're going to go full dive for Lunatic High.
Jaehong on the Zenyatta, a hero that he's been picking up more and more.
That's what they play when they play full dive now. So
yeah, Apex goes on. He's dimensionalized off of his Ana play, which some people might say isn't really necessary considering his skill on that hero. But
well, I mean, Zenyatta does give you a lot of really nice benefits, though, in a situation like this. Helps you, get around the back and get some picks maybe with the Orb of Discord.
Yeah.
And it's also just simply easier to heal your divers if you put Orb of Harmony on him. It's hard to constantly be looking around and hitting those shots as Ana. And this way he can do what he likes to do on Ana anyway, which is do damage while he's healing.
Lunatic running the diviest of dive comps, coming out of the upper side, and they are going a long way around right now. Almost never see this approach.
Yeah. That is a
What?
really interesting way. I did not know you could do that.
All right,
It's all the way around the back.
This has already gotten very interesting, Doa. That
No
was
kidding.
that was a super interesting approach for Lunatic. They are not going to be expecting this. You
No,
do not
they're not.
expect this.
No, they definitely don't. Cox and Toby already, or Cox and Runner already in a lot of trouble. J-Hunk does go down early, though. He's fragile. And who are you? Not getting the kills I think that he was looking for. Down to just 30 health. He needs a health pack bad, man. One hit. I was going to say, yeah, one hit from that Ana. He's going to end his day. And Lunatic looks like they're going to be pushed back here. Yep,
Yeah.
they will. So it was cute. It was a nice try, but couldn't end up completing that push.
Well,
not sure what killed J-Hong. I know it was Bumper to finish him off, but wonder what happened there.
Yeah, that's going to be the question. I wish we had a different perspective on that fight from the opposite side, Lunatic's front line, because the engage looked like it was going to be solid, but unfortunately, Who Are You couldn't deal enough damage to the Orb of Discord and Ana to start things off. But that said, they've already pushed them out of the choke point, so some of the damage has been done. Part of this map is just trying to remove people from that main choke, and once you do that, the next several attacks are much easier.
Here we go. Zumba gets the kill into Cox, and now Bumper finishes himself off. And Who Are You on the point before he goes down? Zumba having to play this one a little bit safe, but now Stitch comes in with the tac visor and the sound barrier to back away with that Discord on him. Ult did end, but Lunatic has to pull back too. They just aren't quite getting the picks fast enough that they need to push this point.
Well, Runaway used their ult advantage from the last fight, all of it. 3 ults, right? And
Wow. Bouncing through the trees.
they have mastered going around the side of this point. I'm very impressed. Well, 4 ults now to none for Lunatic, so the damage was done. This should be a successful push, and they should finish it with a minute and a half or a minute still left on the clock.
And we'll see. Who Are You coming in now? Has to be careful. Getting low health. Dangerous stuff. Earthshatter comes in. Kaiser tries to charge away. He's not going to make it, though. Who Are You handling the tanks? And that is a very clean fight for Lunatic.
What are you going to do?
Not much.
4 ults to none.
Yep.
No real hope for you unless Lunatic makes a massive mistake, which they have shown this season that they are not want to do.
They don't do a whole lot of that.
No, they don't.
So 4 minutes to push through the second stage here on Eichenwald.
Yeah, buying a couple more minutes in terms of time than their opponents had. We'll see if Runaway will do a better job of holding them up through the keep phase here.
Were You not being quite as sneaky as his Genji counterpart, but they're just going to full-on dive the high ground, it looks like. And now the Graviton Surge for Runaway. Axel drops the self-destruct in there. He does take out J-Home. Couldn't get out of danger fast enough, and it looks like Runaway is going to stall out Lunatic right here.
Toby used a sound barrier, and they still couldn't win that fight or survive. Good engage there by Runaway, and looks like they will be stalling out longer considering that they are well in control of the high ground.
Yeah. You wonder if maybe Miro can do something on the high ground with the Primal Rage, just knock people out of position. I think he might try it here. He jumped up, going back down again. Really have to respect the damage from the Soldier 76 as well.
Well, they want to force some ults out, and right now, Runaway's sort of just letting this cart continue rolling without putting any pressure on it. They have to drop down because otherwise it's a lot of free movement from Lunatic High. No decision yet. Here we go.
Attack visor for Stitch. No kills just yet. Oh, Zumba takes him down. Who Are You? Has the Dragon Blade. There's a Nano Boost. He's going to pull it out. Going after the back line, maybe. No, tanks first. Now it's time for Cox. And Cox going to survive, actually. Eska does go down. And the payload moving. So, no, it actually was contested on the bridge. It moved a bit. Here with the Primal Rage now. Able to bounce Cox off the edge, but that's going to be about it. Looks like Runaway going to have to let the payload move for a while.
Split's pretty bad split spawn right there with the Diva at the end. So maybe Runaway will have one more chance to contest this payload as it approaches the gateway of the castle.
That's right. Sit going in, but Mira on the high ground jumps in right behind him. Stitch has a Nano Boost now. Interesting target there. Tries to go for the support. It's not too successful, though. Zumba does go down. Runaway able to take control of the payload for the moment. Mira on the high ground. And Eska barely gets away from that Graviton surge, but I think they're going to have to back off and regroup. Yeah, this one's not going to work out.
Well, they did get the ult, though. Bumper dropping that late in the fight. Could be a little bit of a win there from Lunatic High, but they are not looking too strong in terms of their own ult economy.
Yeah.
Outside of that nano boost. And Runaway holding strong for the moment. Ask on the soldier. Stitch has swapped over to McCree.
Okay.
It's a bit surprising, but maybe he can get the flashbang down when Who Are You has the Dragon Blade up in a few seconds.
Probably going to give him the nano boost sleep dart. Nope. Not connect on the bumper. There's the self-destruct. Jaehoon's got to get away. Ooh, that was really close. Jaehoon took a lot of damage from that. He was nearly killed off. Who Are You with the nano boost? There's the Dragon Blade. Sound Barrier comes in for Runaway to try to keep Cox up. And it looks like it's going to work. It's one of those days. What am I supposed
Got to keep that Cox up.
What's a caster to do? I don't know. They really wanted to keep Cox up, but they were not successful in the end.
There are other prescriptions for that, Noah. There are other prescriptions besides Lucio's.
We need mercy here.
Although maybe Lucio does it for you. I don't know.
Depends. I'm not gonna judge. I'm not gonna judge. Well,
Nothing wrong with that.
so meanwhile, Lunatic High takes point B. This is our last show ever, by the way. And Runaway, a minute 30 they have to defend. Point C here.
And it's not all the way to that third point, but just nearly. However, Lunatic High, shabby in the old bank. Stitch resets his own economy by switching to Roadhog.
Yep.
And Hoxall over on the Bay. No changes from Lunatic High. They will have a brief period of ult advantage as long as nothing goes sour for them.
Yeah. We'll see. Nano Boost goes down, and that Earth Shatter may have set things up for Runaway. We'll see. No kills on both sides. Bumper waiting to see what kills coming from that. That is a pretty good Graviton Surge. Yeah, that's the end of that one. Runaway pretty firmly winning this defensive fight. Eska on the run, gonna have to back off and regroup. And they've got just 40 seconds remaining. Ooh, and that's a very late kill on Zunba too, so buying even more time for Runaway on the defense.
Runaway looking very good as they approach this final defense. They will have sound barrier up. Toby's going to have to work to get his the last 25% of the way. But I think really realistically, Runaway should be able to grind out until they get a blizzard, and that should just end things.
Yeah. Seems that way, but can the payload be pushed far enough in the meantime?
That's crucial.
Yeah, Stitch gets picked, and that is huge. Runaway drops the sound barrier, but as soon as it ends, Lunatic High can dive in. Oh, but Eska goes down, and in fact, basically everybody on Lunatic High going down, and unless Who Are You can make a big comeback, and he tried. Toby forces the OT for the second, gonna dive back in and try to get the timer going again. Boops people off, gotta survive, but no, it's not gonna work out. And Runaway looks like they've won Eichenwald.
And somewhere, Doa, Kaiser hit a monster Earth Shatter to win that last fight. It looked so bad. The initial pick was on to Runaway.
Hey, don't shake Cox. Not on camera.
Never shake Cox on camera. But somewhere there was a monster Earth Shatter because it looked really bad. The initial pick onto Runaway, followed by the sound barrier being used earlier than they would have liked. And I thought for sure that was going to be it. But then I saw the ult meter drop to 0 for the Reinhardt, and that was Kaiser somehow making a big play.
And so that means we are all tied up in this quarterfinal best-of-5 match. And I'm happy. I'm happy it's not going to be a 3-0.
It's Lunatic High's first hybrid loss of the season.
Yeah, it is. And it's only their, let's see, what I guess...
Second map loss.
Yeah, 6th hybrid loss ever, career-wise. That's not as impressive. But only 2nd map loss of the entire season, that's right.
All right, well, Lunatic High, that wasn't their map. And they will have the chance now to pick their assault map after the break. And this has been the quintessential assault team. So Lunatic High, they can win this next one, they'll be sitting pretty. But if Runaway can steal an assault map, then they have a very good chance of winning this series.
Yeah, well, don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back with map number 3, Lunatic High versus Runaway. You're on Apex Season 2. Don't go anywhere.
세상은 무서운 곳이야. 심지어 여기 눈바니에서도 우릴 보호할 존재는 필요하지. 5R15 방어 로봇을 소개할게. 옴닉 사태 때의 구형 이디나 모델을 완전 새롭게 개조한 거야. 얘들이 우릴 지켜줬어. 잠시 동안은. 둠피스트가 공격했을 때 난 공항에 있었어. 로봇들은 속수무책이었지. 모두가 널 포기했지만 난 너에게서 가능성을 봤어. 그래서 내가 나섰어. 프로그램을 업그레이드하고 마음을 주었지.
새로운 인격 모델 설치 완료. 시스템 재부팅 중. 5R15 온라인.
아니 그런 거 말고 위대한 영웅에겐 진짜 이름이 필요해. 오리사는 어때? 난 널 강하고 용감하게 만들었어. 넌 아직 배울 게 많아. 가끔 사고치고 와서 날 화나게 할지도 모르지. 그래도 난 네가 우리에게 꼭 필요한 영웅이 될 거라 믿어.
내 이름은 오리사. 당신을 안전하게 지키겠습니다. 그것이 제가 작동하는 목적입니다.
Welcome back to Overwatch Apex Season 2 with Doa and Monte Cristo and Lunatic. Hi. have just lost their second map of the entire season to Runaway, and that means we're all tied up here in this best of 5.
And a lot of that was due to Haxal's Genji. I think so far from what we've seen, Haxal has been the better Genji player on an individual basis tonight, but the coordination definitely has been a bit stronger from Lunatic High overall, even though they did lose that last map.
Yeah. This is like a battle of pure mechanics versus a balance of mechanics and strategy, you know?
I think Runaway, to their credit, has tightened up their teamwork quite a lot. It's just
they have,
it's hard to beat the teamwork of Lunatic High on this patch at this moment in time. But this is the real test, Noah. Assaults.
Yep.
The specialty of Lunatic High. They have been wonderful on this map type.
Well, they are,
and they get to choose their best assault map. So, or favorite assault map, whatever they're feeling like today. It will be Temple of Anubis.
Yeah, they are 8-2-2 lifetime on assault maps. So that means that they have only lost 2.
Yeah, they draw.
Professional play.
Yeah, they even draw.
Yeah.
2 other times. So impressive stuff. And Lunatic High have a chance to go up 2-1 in this series and make it likely that they will, of course, roll over the last 2 points, considering that they still are very strong on Hybrid and Escort. Meanwhile, I think if Runaway wants to win this set, the big upset on Assault would be the first step in doing that.
Absolutely. Well, they've already taken the first step in winning a map to begin with. Now it's time to keep the momentum going. We'll see if they can do it on Temple of Anubis. Let's get in the game. Welcome to Temple of Anubis. You know, somebody really needs to move those crates out of the way. Those are really, I mean, it's unsightly, you know? You have this nice temple, and somebody leaves crates all over there.
They're busy putting all these artificial intelligences in these old temples to us, so you got to have supplies for that.
Yeah, you pack them in old wooden crates, right?
I don't know why they're defacing old temples in this way, but they are.
I mean, robots have no respect for the past.
The Omnics really have no respect for human history, do they?
Yeah, no, of course not. The only part they like is where the humans built them. You know?
A new era of history is beginning. Destroy all of the old.
That's right.
Oh,
That's the robot way.
Haxal's just there to boost on to the high ground.
That's cool.
Yep.
I like it.
I haven't seen one of these May boosts in a while, but I'll not be committing on point A to the May.
Kind of defacing some property, too. Look at that graffiti on the walls of this temple. Horrible.
Haxal can have sprays now. He just didn't set it, I guess, before the match.
Not, yeah. A man who does not need sprays to be cool. Apparently. Lunatic High, we'll see what they settle on after the timer runs down a little bit more, because I don't think they're going to be... Okay, there we go. Time to go for the dive, and Zunba, yeah, we may see him. Okay.
No.
Not the Pharaoh.
Good joke. Will be Widowmaker, common point A attack hero.
Can Eska hit the shots, though?
Historically, no.
Yeah.
We've seen this before, and we've seen this exact scenario
and right
where
away
they played against Misfits, and he basically just missed all his shots onto Divic.
Yeah. Right away, Haxal there with the Diva, too, to force him off the high ground, so... Ooh, that's...
Okay.
Oh, Eska.
Well, eventually he won the high ground battle by forcing the soldier to drop. Meanwhile, Who Are You?
Helps out when Who Are You is killing the Diva.
See, Eska's really only there to distract people. I feel like...
Oh, not well enough. Cox hits him with a grenade. All right, well, Lunatic High stalled out for the moment. Eska does get the kill on the bumper in the end. And he's laying down some covering fire.
Well, he did get a kill this time, so...
Control percent building slightly.
Honestly, watching Eska play Widowmaker is kind of painful.
Oh, Cox! Bye.
We've seen a lot of good Widowmakers, Noah.
Yeah.
In Apex, and Eska is not among them.
He's no timer, that's for sure. Lunatic High, though, winning a fight. And it looks like they will take point A. All right.
But as I was saying, you don't need to be a world beater.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Finish him off.
You don't need to be a world-beating Widowmaker to actually make a big difference on some of these points, because it's all about that distraction factor. It's about zoning more than anything in controlling the high ground. And the rest of his team plays around the zones that he creates well enough that it works. And we've seen that against Misfits, and we saw that now against Runaway.
And just like any good Widowmaker, no doubt he's taking all the credit for point A right now. Oxall not lasting very long. He is doing some decent damage. And now who are you with the Dragon Blade on top of the Graviton Surge? Zimba adding a lot of Zarya damage on top of that. And why not a Transcendence? Why not just keep everybody alive and get ready to hold those respawns off at full strength? That's what they're going to try to do at least. Bumper goes down again. Sitch very low health. He's not going to survive much longer. Nope, that's it. And Lunatic High builds about half the control meter already. Eska just untouched on this Widowmaker, and that is a problem, especially if he finishes off Cox again on the Genji this time. There goes Runner. And, you know, made a lot of jokes about the Widowmaker, but he did a lot of damage in the end, didn't he?
It looks like it's eventually going to be enough. There is an Earth Shatter that comes through. They've got to get rid of this Genji right now.
Wow,
That'll work, Eska.
Okay, all right. Well, and he gets to stand in place. Works well. All right, well, the Mei is back again. Haksal buying some time. Miro on top of him, though. Has to ice block. They've managed, I mean, we know these fights can go forever, basically, so we're in it for the long haul. Kaiser on the point, and they may have actually been able to push Lunatic High back here.
Eska was in the back, but he wasn't able to put a lot of pressure onto the point by being on the point himself.
Yeah.
And he did actually miss quite a few shots in that. Got a few kills, but also missed quite a few shots in the course of that attack. But they do get it to 2 ticks, so not the end of the world. Lunatic High
not bad.
makes a staff defense. Cox, they do force over onto the Genji. We've seen how Diversey is as a player, though, before they decided to stop using Shine and put him on the Ana instead. So
they're running solo support right now, just that Lucio.
I mean, that's so dangerous.
Very bold. Wow, Cox just reflects Eska. That helps.
That definitely helps, and that's going to force them to back off. Stitch trying to harass Jae-Hong here.
Yeah, pulse bomb.
Gets Miro.
Yeah, well, did finish off Miro with the left click in the end. We're getting a couple kills.
How long are they going to stick on to this strategy, though? They really want to commit, I guess, to the triple DPS for the time being, at least until the Dragon Blade is utilized.
Apparently. Well, they're running that 2-2-2 on the Lunatic High side. And I mean Runaway. They're going so heavy on the offense because they only have 1 tick left, right? Sound barrier coming in as Runaway makes their attack. Here comes Who Are You? Dragon Blade pulled out. Graviton Surge, the Blizzard, Who Are You has to avoid it. Trying to cut down Kaiser. They finally do get the kill actually on the bumper there. Haksal stays alive on the point again. It's been so annoying. Miro can't do a whole lot. Gets out right as he is frozen, but he does get the kill on the Haksal in the end, actually. Lunatic High may be putting together a successful push here. Cox falls.
They just don't have enough people, and everybody on Runaway coming back up now. So Lunatic High really overcommitted. I don't know why they decided to use the Graviton Surge and the Dragon Blade when they knew that Haksal had Blizzard up. When you see Mei on these point defenses, the first thing you do is get the Blizzard out and then try and make a successful push. Blizzard is so good at zoning you off the second point on Anubis that you really need to play around that and make sure that her ultimate is down when the push begins.
That is a good point. You get the Blizzard out of the way and then the real fight can begin.
They didn't do that. They just all in, basically.
Nice sleep dart on Miro. That's going to make it tough for Lunatic High, as their Gorilla is asleep on the wall. Back up now. Eska does go down early on, so Lunatic High not going to be able to make anything out of this push, it looks like. Taken out. And Runaway. Really solid defense here on Anubis point B.
Yeah, although part of that has been Lunatic High, I think, getting sloppy on their attack. First, the other question is why did they stick with the Widowmaker for so long when they could have switched to the McCree right away, had the McCree on the point, and then had the flashbang to easily pick people off when they had a big ult advantage. We almost never see that Widowmaker come through on point B attack unless there's an exceptional Widowmaker player or there's a mistake.
All right, Dragon Blade, Who Are You has a nano boost too, goes after Cox, takes him down. That's right, and now the Blizzard, they can wait it out. Can they get onto the point and take that just 1 tick? The respawn's coming in very, very soon, though. Eska back on the point himself. Haksal does go down. Still not building that control percent yet. Primal Rage, Runaway staying alive. They've got the sound barrier now as well. Lunatic High needs to handle the respawns, but it's not easy. Runner back up on the high ground. That's going to be super annoying to take the Lucio out there. And he can really kind of do a good job. Yeah, knocks Jaehong off the high ground. Big Earth Shatter comes in for Kaiser. And that is the end of that push for Lunatic High. Denied with 1:20 remaining.
One of the crucial factors of that hold from Runaway was how long Bumper managed to stay alive with Primal Rage. And even though Cox went down, he still was able to apply the nano boost before he died. So Winston, there was never a chance really to push that control meter up at all because the Winston was constantly alive through that, whether it was Primal Rage chained into the sound barrier and then the nano boost right after.
Right. All right, here we go. Couple ults available. Who Are You nearly has that Dragon Blade again. So Lunatic High has some good options. They've got good combos. Toby should have the sound barrier soon. Actually, they're going to go in. Not going to wait for that sound barrier. They're going to do it now with just 30 seconds remaining. Who Are You gets 2 already. Add a third onto that one for Lunatic High. Add a fourth as well, and they may have the push they're looking for. Control meter not building just yet. They've got to finish off the last stragglers, and there it is. No respawns incoming, and Lunatic High. 23 seconds left on the clock, but they do finish.
And I think they're probably a little bit annoyed based on that push earlier. But again, we are still on patch 1.7, where some of those longer spawn timers have not come into play yet.
Right.
Had we been on the next patch, maybe they would have capped that with a huge amount of time left in the bank. But as it is, they complete the map with 23 seconds remaining, and now Runaway forced to cap both points.
I think you're right. I think with the changes to respawns that have come in the recent patch, that probably would have been a much faster take, but as it is, 2 points for Lunatic High, and now it's on Runaway to try to equalize.
I'm really looking forward to those changes because
Me
I
too.
know a lot of people want to throw assault maps out, but I think the most exciting part of assault maps, when you really look at the very tense matches that occur, it's when they're 4-3 or 5-6, when you have set plays that are effective at taking the point, and you get a very rapid back and forth between the two teams with a lot of time bank remaining. And I think that should really be the goal moving forward. And we'll see, at least in the professional scene, how much the 1.8 changes are going to affect things here in Korea.
Yeah. I'm excited about new Bastion coming into. I think with the nerfs he got to his durability, he's in a pretty good place right now, and I'd love to see pros give him a try.
Okay. Miro in his typical Anubis place on the Winston. Loves standing up here because it allows him to position either into the initial choke point or further back, beyond the gate, depending on how fast the enemy team gets through. But that's a great position to draw people in and then try and bisect them as they approach.
Certainly. Here we go. Eska just practicing his short-range shooting, perhaps.
I hope we get to see Stitch in the pair Widowmaker as always.
Well, I think we will.
Fun.
Here we go.
That's what we're going to get.
Yep, Stitch on the Widowmaker. Looking for those long-range shots. Ooh, that's really dangerous. Takes a chunk out of Jaehong. Really got to be careful there. A lot of Widowmakers have been taking that shot lately, and it's a deadly one. It's for the kill on the Eska. Oh, but Who Are You right there to push him off the high ground.
And that's Lunatic High. The reads are so fast. They realize what's going on, push him off the high ground, and it's multiple stages, right? You have the soldier firing, and you have the Winston in the members of your team, so there's very little defense. And then as soon as that cooldown comes up again, it's Miro on the high ground disrupting every single time. They also have a Diva to accomplish the same thing.
Yep. Oh, wow. Stitch, yep, doesn't last too much longer, and Lunatic High getting some early kills. They've got to go back to the point and defend it now. Runner's still there. Eska on the zone needs to be very careful. You're still taking damage, man. You're still taking damage. You can't dodge a lightning bolt. You can eventually force the ape away, though, I guess.
Well, maybe he can dodge the lightning bolt if he's on the low ground, Doa.
It's
It's not a lightning rod up top any longer.
That's true. He's got that metal visor, too. I really wouldn't want to be on the Thunderstorm if I was Soldier 76. Runner jumps down to the point again. Couple kills coming in for Runaway. Good start. Eska finishes off the Lucio, though. Miro back on the high ground. Holding for now. 2:40 left on the clock.
Too much on the flank.
Yeah, that's going to be maybe about it.
Well, they're going to delay it, at least the nano boost.
Yeah.
They're going to get one kill off of this while Miro stays alive and actually hits
Primal
that
Rage.
Primal Rage. So much time bought.
Yeah, he may buy enough. We'll see. The nano boost for Hawksall not being really put to too much use. If you boost Winston, it's called banana boost.
Is that what it is?
That's what I call it anyway.
And that's a clutch hold there from Lunatic High. Because if they use the Nano Boost, and if they use the Primal Rage there, and they lose that fight, all of a sudden they're in a giant ult hole on point B. You never want to be in the ultimate hole, Noah.
No, not the ult hole. No thanks. Well, Runaway with 4 ults coming into this one. Lunatic with nearly 3. Well, with 3. Bumper not able to get the hook as he backs away, barely staying alive.
Big kill on the Stitch.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be a pretty tough push
man,
for Runaway to
this
make
might
work.
be a full hold now. The thing is, Runaway came into that approach and that attack with a big ult advantage because Lunatic had to invest a lot to defend.
So that was their chance.
And because Stitch got picked off very quickly, Lunatic has gotten more time to match that ult economy. Yeah. And everything coming up now for Lunatic in the next 30 seconds. And Bumper going to switch over to D.Va himself, but with a self-destruct available for Lunatic the hold should be able to last long enough for everybody else on Lunatic to max up that ult charge.
Yep. All right, Oxel on the high ground again. Last-ditch effort. They got a minute remaining. Sound Barrier pulls out the Dragon Blade as well. Goes for the supports, as you usually see Genjis do. Kills coming in for Runaway, though. This may be it. They may have won enough to take point A. Yeah, Zunba just trying to keep the point alive for the moment. Not going to last too much longer. Control percent just finally starts building. Is Runaway going to make a desperate attempt to save this one? I don't think so. No, they're going to leave it. Okay.
They're happy with the time they got off the clock already.
Sure.
30 seconds remaining, and then goes up to 4.5. But Lunatic if they committed more. Eska dying early, the pick they needed for Runaway to take that point, and we see Zunba very intentionally not use his self-destruct just in case there was some sort of snowball that happened here on point B.
Yeah. Miro need to be a little bit careful. They're going to use the Nano Boost onto the D.Va already.
Eska dies again.
Yeah, not a great
without
round for
using his tac visor. What is going on here?
I don't know, Stitch taking a nap, Lunatic on the defense. Looks like they'll be able to hold for the moment. Ooh, maybe not. Self-destruct comes in. That could be bad. No kills from it, though. None on the Lunatic side. No, I spoke too soon. Runner, actually, somehow, some way, gets caught by that. I don't know how you died to a self-destruct on this point, but Runner found a way. And
D.Va
will hold.
too, so
yeah.
Good thing that they had Zunba's self-destruct there, kind of sneakily placing it on the opposite side of the column from the point. And somebody ran around, Runner in this case, and also the D.Va Bumper. They've got to make some changes now. Will be the Roadhog to attempt to get a pick, but Lunatic on a healthy ult bank. And
yep. You always know where Miro's going to be, too. He's going to be way up front, and I wonder if that's something they can take advantage of. Lunatic though, they've got Miro in the back lines. They're just trying to split Runaway up.
It's so hard to take advantage of Miro because of how well his team plays around his jump cooldown.
Yep. All right, grenade throws in. Biotic grenade.
That's the third time Eska's died without using tac visor.
Yeah, and who are you is going to try to equalize on this. He needs this one to be big, and he may come up big, actually, as Runaway. Losing too many people probably to hold this point. They really needed Who Are You to get a lot done with that ultimate after Runaway had the early lead in that fight, too.
They have maybe hoped not to use quite so many ults to accomplish that.
Got 2 left at the moment. Runaway getting closer to a couple more, but the ult economy a little bit favored for Lunatic at the moment.
Runner may not have wanted to use the sound barrier in that past fight. Also, again, keeping an eye on that usage because it hasn't been the strongest.
All right, they're going to go around the side. Miro is there, constantly harassing the back lines on that Winston. They're just going to charge ahead anyway. Ooh, wow. Oxal got very, very low. Cox going to give him the nano boost, though. And here's the Dragon Blade. Toby trying to stay alive. Booms Oxal back. No kills just yet for this Genji. Gets none. Meanwhile, Eska finally uses attack visor to take out Cox.
Ready.
Gets back to the health just in time.
Yeah, they were so ready.
I heard a big Earth Shatter come down. I think that was from Kaiser. The kill came afterwards. Lunatic holding for the moment, though. That control percent building. First tick on the control meter taken by Runaway.
Oxal low, picks up the mega health back.
Yep, that's right. Miro finds the kill on the Kaiser, though, so without that Reinhardt, looks like Runaway may have to back off.
Respawns coming through. Too much. Only 1 tick gain.
Yep.
But great reaction from
late
Lunatic.
Good late kill onto Hawks. Oh, bigger late kill onto Bumper. Runaway gonna have to take a lot of extra time to reset after that one.
And the Nano Blade back up for Lunatic High. The reaction, though, with the sound barrier on point, booping him backwards, and simultaneously Lunatic High able to finally use that tack visor to take out Cox and eventually battle back to push the members of Runaway off the point.
Yep. Here we go. Graviton search for Runaway. This is their moment. Zumba trying to respond. Meanwhile, Bumper pops a whole hog. 2 kills for Hawksall already. Who are you? Pulls out the Dragon Blade, trying to equalize yet again. Send the later one. Meanwhile, Miro with that Primal Rage. Pushing people off the point, doesn't live very long though. Hawksall wins the Genji duel. Who are you? Goes down, and now they're trying to handle the respawn.
Oh
but
no!
Gets the kill. There's a Graviton search for Lunatic High. They're going to use the sound barrier as well, and it looks like they might barely be able to hold here. They will.
And man,
so
Hawksall
close.
thought he had the support, but Lunatic High tied up the rest of the team with Zunba's Graviton Surge, so they weren't able to support the ulting Genji around the corner.
Yeah.
Definitely divide and conquer. Eska hits the shot when he needs to take out the ult, and it's looking great for Lunatic High.
Yeah, overtime now. Lunatic High needs to defend this last push.
Bastion out
Coming
for Toby.
Runaway. Hawksall on the Reaper now even. Eska with the tack visor. No kills with that though. There's a Genji, or not Genji. There's a Bastion. I should know from my nightmares. There's a Bastion. Meanwhile, Zumba comes in with the nano boost. Bumper with the kill into Jaehong. Good start for Runaway. Zumba looking for kills, not finding any. Toby gets the kill into Cox though. There's the Earth Shatter coming from Kaiser, but no follow-up. Bastion reigns supreme, and that's it. Lunatic High will win Temple of Anubis.
Unsurprising. Struggled perhaps more than we thought they would, but they still close it out 2-1.
Yep.
Couple close holds there, but overall, you could tell on attack that they were dominant, but I think falling victim to some of the respawn shenanigans that are hopefully going to be lessened once we move to patch 1.8.
Yeah. True enough. So that brings us to Lunatic High with a 2-1 lead in this best of 5. Runaway able to pick the Escort map. But Escort has not been great for them. I mean, they are 1 win so far, the only time they've gotten the map where they've won it, but they are 1 in 3 lifetime on this map type.
Well, I think Runaway, at least they've been able to select both of the Escort map types, because on Eichenwald they really pulled it out. Now, we saw them perform very poorly on King's Row in their last match, but because they're going to be the ones selecting, maybe they can mitigate some of the disastrous hybrid maps that have stymied them in the past.
Well, no doubt they've got a plan. It's probably a plan put together by the one and only runner. Let's see what it's going to be. A choice between Watchpoint Gibraltar and Route 66. Route 66. Route 66 will be the map. Okay.
Interesting. I wonder if they have some special strategies prepared for Route 66.
Perhaps. Some special tactics. Meanwhile, Lunatic High, 1 map win away from the semifinals. After a disappointing quarterfinals in Apex Season 1, these guys are possibly ready to push their way all the way to the grand finals.
Early to say that, and I think Eska's play...
Hey, well, I'm just building the hype, man. Excuse me.
I think Eska's play is still sort of a big question mark for Lunatic High.
Certainly.
He did not have a spectacular Temple of Anubis round, that's for sure.
Sure enough. Runaway in a position to tie things up, push it to game 5. Gonna have to be their very best, though, to see if they can do that. Lunatic High trying to punch their ticket to the semifinals. A win on Route 66 would do it. Let's get the game and find out who takes it.
I get it.
Oh, I get it. I get it. You just play Genji, and you win. I should have gotten it a long time ago from House Solo Queue.
Very true of these two teams. But who are you who's been playing some Roadhog, and we're going to see him play some more Roadhog.
A little bit. I mean, we do see Who Are You pick out the Roadhog, pick out the Pharah sometime. And for defense more often. He will play that Roadhog more often lately. Eska back on the 76. Pretty standard triple tank coming out of Lunatic High.
And I really like Roadhog on defense on Route 66 because you start with a high ground advantage. You will win the Reinhardt shield destruction battle because you can always hide behind the big Earl sign, and the other Reinhardt doesn't have a lot of cover. So if you can spam out that shield, your Roadhog from the high ground can drop down, get an easier, much easier hook.
True.
You will often have so many good hooking opportunities. So definitely a fan of Soldier Roadhog as far as the two DPS heroes are concerned on this particular map.
And here we go. It's going to be a triple tank on the Runaway side of things as well. Stitch on the McCree. Hoxall on the Zarya. Bumper on the Roadhog this time.
Hoxall occasionally on the Zarya, but
Yeah.
not so frequently. They will not be trying to disrupt the top of Big Earls, just slow pushing it through instead. And
Not going
who
for the
are
big dump.
you? Okay.
Da-da.
This is a different strategy than we normally see, quite clearly. Stitch has got to be so... Ooh. Okay, he found out. Got scared there for a second.
You were very excited, I can tell.
I was.
The hook possibly coming in. Runaway pushing the payload pretty far already.
I mean, the problem if you don't get that hook, Doa, is that you don't have your Roadhog in position to start fishing. So
Very true.
You need to get that pick, otherwise you end up giving a lot of ground. Not sure it's really worth the risk.
Well, they gave ground. Now we'll see if they can do anything with it. Runaway. Bumper coming up on the high ground. Stitch. Oh, fights a 1v1 with Who Are You and wins it. Not a great start for Lunatic High, as this payload is pushing pretty freely right now.
I mean, their comp is good, but there's a reason why you run the Reinhardt Roadhog together under these circumstances,
Sure.
and we're not seeing that.
Oh, Kaiser just pins Jaehong and the pressure off the payload again.
So you take a risk, and sometimes you get mopped up. You can't reposition fast enough.
I guess so.
Runaway, quick time for point A.
Well, Cox looking for some shots onto Soldier 76 there.
Wow, that's a lot
Uh-oh.
of damage from Cox. And,
Oh,
okay.
Bumper. He couldn't keep Bumper up, though. And so that'll slow things down a little bit. Lunatic High may decide this is a moment to push up, and it looks like it is.
Zumba also with a much faster Graviton Surge in spite of the failed push, as we've come to expect from Zumba.
Well, I mean, you have to be a pretty great Zarya to match Zumba. Stitch power walking his way up there. Electric Cowboy in action, but no kills just yet. Miro very low, pulled into the Graviton Surge, and Eska trying to make something happen with this Tag Visor. Gets two right off the bat, but man, he jumped down right in the middle of that. I feel like keeping the high ground may have been the wiser choice. He really got the thick of things with that Soldier.
Miro's on the side, but he's so low.
Yeah.
Oh, that was actually really badly played by both teams. So, well, with the sound barrier, that wasted the sound barrier in the end too.
Comes to Tobelstein, and Runaway cleaning up this fight. Payload moving a bit more.
All right, let's talk about how that fight initially broke out, because the use of Electric Cowboy was quite poor from
Pretty
Runaway. So when do you want to use Nano Boost and McCree? Either you could just use the McCree ultimate to zone people out in that scenario and keep just the Reinhardt on the low ground to kill him quickly while everybody else is hiding.
Yeah.
But the value from the Nano Boost is if you're going to get kills or if you're going to break a Reinhardt shield with a bunch of people behind it. But there's nobody behind it. So they win the fight, but a lot of that, like you said, was Eska dropping down.
Oh, Miro not getting anything with that Earth Shatter, getting picked off afterwards. Runaway keeps pushing. There goes Toby. It's a pretty dominant round so far for Runaway.
Well, a lot
Very
of
dominant.
Yeah, a lot of it. It's been sloppy though, for sure, from both of these teams.
Yeah.
But that last push, convincing, and Kaiser, see on your screen right there, being a lot of the reason why the success has been coming here for Runaway.
I feel like this is what Runaway wants, though. They want to make it messy. They want to force it into those scrappy brawls because that's where the DPS can really kind of go to work.
It's just a huge misplay. Like, once you see the Nano Boost and the Deadeye come out and nothing happens, you're like, all right, it's my time, man. And couldn't capitalize.
Speaking of Deadeye, Ryu with the Reflect. No kills for Stitch on that one. This is a flashbang. Kaiser
No shatter off.
side now, yep. trying to find a good one. Just be careful though. Sound barrier used by Runaway. This is the moment. This is time to get aggressive. Miro kind of on his own again. You know what? Eska with the attack visor. Jumps down, tries to complete a bit of the flank. This one's a little bit better this time around. Yeah, there we go.
He's keeping a more respectful distance.
Certainly, yeah. You don't want to play Soldier as a melee character generally. And who are you with the cleanup?
They'd hope not to have to use the Dragon Blade, but the attack visor didn't actually finish off enough of the kills, so who are you? Forced to play cleanup late in the team fight, getting those dashes to quickly maneuver around it.
They needed to stabilize. This is the first time they've gotten any breathing room since point A.
Yeah, 3 minutes left too, looking strong for Runaway.
Yeah.
Zunba, the ultimate, looks like he's going to try something fancy.
Could be.
Waiting for everybody to group up. He's trying to bait them into attacking the Reinhardt there in the front line.
Decided to call it off. Graviton Surge now, trying to pull people in from the side. That was interesting. Flank as best they can. Now the Graviton Surge for Runaway. Sound barrier used immediately, of course. Big Earth Shatter comes in, though. Denied, though. Bumper with the whole hog. Pushes everybody back.
Yeah, misses the hook, though. That's crucial onto Jaehong.
Yeah. Runaway the one's getting the kills in the end, though. Miro finds himself kind of on his own. Eska there on the Tracer, but he's not going to be able to survive too long. That payload is
One's
moving.
on the cart.
Yep.
Who's on the cart?
Back line? Nobody. I think that's going to be, as soon as they can get rid of, who are you? And Eska.
And Toby.
And Zumba. All right, they're all back now. They had an opportunity, but the respawns came in. But again, Runaway not in a position where this is really going to be a problem, I don't think. Miro back on the point now, but he's on his own. Jaehong in the back, trying to keep that Reinhardt up. Where are you?
Gotta hit those hammers.
Returning.
All right, finally they're gonna get it.
All right, they should. There we go. Okay. So it took a little bit longer at the end, but they get the 3 points on offense.
I'm really surprised that they were so successful, but Lunatic High just made so many mistakes on their defense, particularly in the Streets phase and in the Big Earl phase. Like, I don't understand why it's so cheeky to try and take that hook when you always virtually have the advantage playing with the Soldier and the Roadhog grouped up on the high ground of Big Earls. Because like I said in the intro to the game, you win those Reinhardt shield battles. And then when they lost that and got rolled, couldn't reposition, the Electric Cowboy was completely misused by Runaway. But then they just they got sucked right into the trap of Runaway immediately thereafter by trickling into the death ball that was on the cart.
I mean, on top of that, too, Eska has not been having the greatest performance on this map.
Or last map.
Or
last
this
map,
series. Yeah, I mean,
or this tournament.
It's been rough. It's been rough.
So, I don't know. Who are you has been doing well, but there is a deficiency in how they can play around their power spikes. When they have Who Are You's Dragon Blade up, looking pretty good. When Eska's ult is up, sometimes we see a minute or two pass before he even has a chance to use it, like on Anubis, where he's just dead all the time.
A great start. Pressure's on this guy right here. Eska needs to really put on a performance if they want to have a chance of winning Route 66.
I think clearly what we've learned from this is that as DPS duos go, Runaway has the stronger pair.
Absolutely. I mean, there wasn't much question about that coming into it, but most of the way through this match now, it's looking pretty definitive. With the guy, looks like they're gonna go total dive here.
Yep. Not surprising. I mean, they're not going for the Tracer, so maintaining the Soldier at least some level of distance.
Yeah.
And Runaway, expecting a dive composition. They have the McCree.
Okay.
They've got a good read, and they are actually playing that high ground with the Roadhog.
Jaehong is doing whatever damage he can with that Zenyatta from the side. And they've got to dislodge people off of Big Earls, but they've set up a pretty nice flank with Eska. Oh, until he gets hooked. He lives, though.
Looks like he got behind the pillars.
I was going to say, yeah, the hook broke. The hook broke, yep. That was a close call, though. If he had gotten hooked, that would have been kind of the end of the push from Lunatic, I think. Bumper going after, who are you now? This is the hook again. The payload moving. Runaway really has not been able to stop that. It's about time to jump down. They get a couple kills, though. That's a good start.
Onto the high ground, too. Actually, very clutch.
Yeah.
Cox and Stitch winning the aim battle from on top of Big Earls over across the point onto the ramp. And looks like Haksal Or who are you, rather, not going to be getting away from that one?
Yep. All right, so they push the payload most of the way through point A, but in the end, we're not able to finish it.
But a more composed defense, absolutely, from Runaway.
Yeah. Is Eska going back to switch? No, he's just going on the high ground. Okay.
No, I don't think he's going to switch when he's
Yeah, I was going to
80% up to that tag visor.
big backtrack to get on the high ground, but here we go. Puts it to work already. They need him to have that high ground flank. Whoops. Needs to watch out for the hooks. Ooh, that was close.
Dodging around with his sprints, waiting for the right
right
opportunity. And there it is when the Reinhardt falls to the low ground.
Yep. Trying to push people off the high ground. Stitch with the Deadeye. No kills on that one. Eska on his own again. Got one kill onto a runner, though, so good start for the soldier. And he's got Stitch.
Oh, wow.
Oh, not handled. Nice headshot in the end there. Bumper comes into the whole hog, and they're going to push Lunatic high off the payload.
That's a battle you shouldn't lose when you have that Helix rocket off cooldown and he's not in range for the flashbang. But Stitch coming out on top of the duel. Who are you? Dragon Blade, seeing what he can get done, and it's going to be getting locked up.
Yeah, no pushing here for Lunatic High. They're going to counter Graviton Surge, but no ult follow-up really. They get the kills though, and that might be enough. Kaiser finally goes down, and Eska finally delivering on that Soldier 76.
Still had the long sight range there. Even though the Graviton went down first from Runaway, there wasn't enough damage to actually clean anybody up. Plus the Transcendence used by Jaehong allowed them to counteract with their own Graviton Surge a few seconds later.
Yeah. Runaway on the high ground now. And Lunatic High with a decent amount of time to push through to point C, but they need to do this. They need to do this stage kind of fast. I feel like if they're going to get 3 points on this one.
Certainly a longer stall out.
Yeah, I'm liking Runaway's chances at this point. Although I may have just cast or cursed them, so if I did, I'm sorry. I have to call it like I see it, you know.
They are going to be in the streets here with a slight ult disadvantage.
Yep.
And no changes so far. Flashbang going to miss again.
Yeah, he anticipated who are you coming in, but who are you was a little bit later than he expected. Either way, the payload has stopped.
We were watching Stitch there, but he wasn't doing a whole lot. Meanwhile, the Runaway front line convincingly dealing most of that damage. Mirror on Reinhardt has a change of pace.
Okay. Well, for this point, I think that's
from here on forward, you definitely do want the Reinhardt.
Yeah.
There's such this is okay for Winston, but once you get into the garage, there's basically no mobility for that hero. So
then, for sure, yeah, almost certainly you need it.
Let's go with the long flank with his tack visor. Jaehong does not have nano boost.
All right, tack visor time. See damage again. The shield gets turned, and Cox hiding behind the pillar. Who are you picks up the first kill onto Stitch? Were you looking for a little bit more? If I had a grenade onto Bumper, may lead to another kill here. Bumper trying to get back. Nope, can't quite do it. Eska with 2 though on the high ground. No, he's on the low ground now. Of course, where else would he be?
Dropping down
at
the end.
That works. In the end, they win the team fight. They get the payload moving.
And great split spawn too. That should push them all the way through point B.
Should.
Nice job just isolating Roadhog in the back, getting the sleep dart down, and Stitch. Oh, wow, he hit the flashbang. What? It looked like there was a reflect there.
I thought the flashbang was just coming in for such a long range, too. Worked out, though.
That changes everything.
Yeah, Runaway. Sleep dart on the switch. Didn't get the Deadeye off. Lunatic High responds with the Graviton Surge. Double Graviton comes in, but not a lot of follow-up for Runaway, and they may have wanted to save that ultimate because I don't think there's going to be a lot stopping Lunatic High from finishing this one. They do drop the Earth Shatter in the end, though, to finalize it.
But that death that we saw, the pick that Stitch got, forced them to use both Graviton and Shatter to even push through to point B quickly. And that's the big difference there. Sometimes getting picked off can have huge effects on these team fights and how the ult economy can function through another phase. So Lunatic High, instead of coming in with 3 ults, finds himself with 1 instead that will be matched by Runaway. Haksal now going on to the Diva.
Yeah, here's the hard part. Sleep dart. Oh, Kaiser with the big Earth Shatter after Reinhardt got sleep darted. Going in deep. A nice pin onto Zinba there. Kaiser grabs 2 already. It's a great Reinhardt play we've come to expect from him. It looks like Lunatic High is just resetting.
Yeah, Kaiser with a 3K on a 1-for-1 ult.
Not bad.
Immediately repositioning behind the cart after
Haksal, what are you doing there?
Getting the shatter in. Okay, Haksal. Yeah. Well, he's going to respawn at least with his mech.
That's the thing, he wants some mech. Makes sense. It makes sense.
It makes sense.
So sorry. So sorry. All right, it's time. Kaiser with the nano boost.
Just waiting for it right now.
Yep, biding time. Miro's getting pretty low though. They need to keep him up. Pushed away now, and here we go. Nano boost comes in for Who Are You. He's got the nano blade. Kill on a runner. Looking for more. Oh, gets hit with the sleep dart from Cox. Great play from Cox, and that's going to turn things around. Runaway winning this team fight.
Wow, man, Lunatic High was so patient in how long they were waiting for that fight.
Yep.
Waiting for the nano boost to run out to be able to use the nano blade, but a reaction from Runaway so strong, just picking off the Genji immediately with the sleep dart and then collapsing on him with the Reinhardt.
And Runaway had to back off, so they did get the payload pushed a little bit more there.
But that's not going to be too impactful, considering that the ult advantage has now swung massively in Runaway's favor.
Very true.
By eliminating immediately the push and the ultimate usage from Lunatic High. So Runaway, it's going to be feeling real good with less than a minute left on the clock and 5 ults.
Yeah. Graviton Surge, now they need to have that ult conservation. Where's the follow-up? Big Biotic Grenade doesn't really help. They tried to go for the bigger bang, but didn't get any kills from it. Runaway, though, still coming out ahead in this team fight. There goes Toby.
Yeah, they didn't get the Diva ult down, but because Kaiser was able to swing through, he got about 40% on his ult to get the Shatter up off of the Graviton. So, okay, they used 2, but they get 1 back, and Lunatic High, it's going to be 4 for 4 right here, but there is no sound barrier for Lunatic High, so they are coming in with a substantial disadvantage.
Yep.
Runner's got to have great sound barrier use right here. They can stuff this push right away.
When's it going to be?
Who Are You gets Cox.
Attackvisor really early. Eska goes down. They're going to sleep Stitch, though. Stitch taken out as well. Both DPSs. Ooh, big Earthshatter comes in, though, from Runaway. Kaiser being the hero yet again. Can he complete it, though? Miro kind of on his own. Miro goes for the charge, misses, takes a fire strike to the face. And I think Kaiser's going to be able to finish him off eventually here. Zarya Shield comes in, though. Kaiser lasts a long time on the point before going down, long enough that the respawns come in for Runaway. And they are on the verge of winning this map if they can just handle the last members of Lunatic High. It's tough, though. Zumba. Oh, Zumba's so low, though.
Stitch can't finish him off. Who Are You
not
jumping
quite.
around, gets the Zarya Shield. But here come the respawns.
Yep. Bumper backing away, waiting for the rest of his team to get back to the fight. Ryu on the high ground, has a Dragon Blade, looking for some supports. Goes after Cox, who gets the Zarya Shield. Can he finish him off? So low, no, he can't do it. Cox gets a kill on Who Are You? And Lunatic High is going to have a very hard time finishing this one. Pulse Bomb. Toby gets a kill on the Stitch. That's 1 DPS out of the way. Kaiser, if he can kill Kaiser, that is crucial, man. Self-destruct. Not doing any damage. Blocked. Runner on the payload. Gets hit with the Biotic Grenade. There goes the healing. Kaiser charges in. Graviton Surge for Runaway as they try to turn this last fight, but Who Are You picks up another kill. It's such a long brawl. Big Earthshatter comes in from Lunatic High, though. Miro gets it. Kaiser pinned in the nano boost, doesn't get to use it, and have they actually done it? I don't know, man. They're trying to finish off another Diva. Hoxall finally goes down the payload. They've got to move the payload. It's nearly there. Oh, can he get back to it? Runner on the Winston now. No, it's Bumper taken out nearly immediately, but Stitch is back there again. A monumental fight on the payload. Have they done it? Earthshatter for Kaiser again. Who Are You with 2 kills, though? And there goes Stitch, so that will complete it. No, won't! Hoxall gets back to the payload again. Are you kidding me? Runner taken out, and Hoxall just buying more and more time, but it's not enough. And Lunatic High against all odds with 3 points on their offensive round.
Crazy final push from Lunatic High, but Doa, that doesn't mean that they're going to get very far, because the difference in the time bank is going to be pretty heavily in favor of Runaway.
Very true.
And Runaway, they were so close, but ults were misused on that final approach from Lunatic High. They were pushing the remainder of the way through the garage, and we saw the Graviton Surge and the Self-Destruct sort of thrown away there.
Yeah.
The Self-Destruct was used, but nobody else was there to try and turn the Reinhardt around or punish the Reinhardt for turning around. Used one by one. The communication really broke down there for Runaway on the final defense. But
well, Miro had a pretty awesome Earthshatter, too, at the end of all that.
I mean, this is Escort, though. At 2 minutes in Escort means that Lunatic High is going to have a crazy overtime push, basically, to have a hope of matching Runaway. 1/3 of the time, when you don't even have to take a point and you can just sidle alongside that payload through the streets of Route 66 is quite a big ask. So if you're Runaway, you're not going to feel too bad about losing that.
No. You can feel semi-confident, but at the same time, Lunatic High still, if they win this map, the match is over. They move to the semifinals. Still a lot of pressure on Runaway, despite the advantage. Toby gonna fire the Sonic Arrow out.
It's making sure that they weren't going to see anybody waiting for a pick in the upper tunnel.
That's right. Oh, speaking of picks, there's a grab onto D.Va already.
Sleep Dart came in for the Zarya shield too.
Eska knocked out of the mech. That's not a good start. There's a hook onto Zunba. Zunba goes down. Great start for Runaway here.
That hook was huge, and the fact that the Sleep Dart came in before Zumba's shield could actually protect him from it means that he gets desuited almost immediately, and that's going to slow down the push by a significant amount. Hey, look at that.
That's out of 20 seconds already.
And that's why you put Roadhog on Big Earls.
There you go. Yeah, works out pretty well. And Hogsall can just delay this all day, man. Going down. So hard to get rid of that D.Va. Back up to the payload, and you can just stand close enough to stop the payload from moving. Bumper on the side, has to back off for a little bit of help. Miro, Earthshatter blocked completely. That was not a good ult, and we're into OT already. Nano boost, now onto Kaiser. Kaiser with a kill onto Miro, and things are not looking good for Lunatic High. Not at all. Kills come in. Kaiser with another Earthshatter already. Why not? Jeez, well, that's going to be about that, and barely any push at all for Lunatic High. Runaway, they've nearly got this one in the bag.
Stuffed it just around the corner on Big Earls, and they have 3 minutes to do that. Lunatic High's defense is going to have to be truly heroic if they want to take this map. Otherwise, Runaway, this was their worst map type, and it was among Lunatic High's best, and they are on the verge of winning both maps here on Escort and Hybrid on this, and that would be pretty impressive stuff.
You know, I said it at the beginning. I said you never know. It's been a season of upsets, and Runaway moving that much closer to an upset against Lunatic High, and all they need to do is push the payload that far. I mean, that's farther up than most teams even defend on this map.
Yeah, this is a Herculean effort for sure.
Lunatic High going for a very standard 2-2-2 to try to hold this one off.
This time they're not using the Roadhog, they're using the Genji instead, so making a single switch.
Putting everybody on arguably their best heroes, aside from Miro on the Reinhardt, but the Reinhardt obviously much more appropriate in this situation than the Winston.
Do you know what we call Stitch on Tracer, Doa?
What?
A stitch in time.
Oh. I'll accept it. I'll accept it.
He usually only saves 5, though, not 9.
Oh. Well, there's 6 on the team in Overwatch. So
well,
we'll say 6.
I was not including himself. So.
Oh, okay. He can save himself.
He
That's what Rewind is for.
Yeah, that's true.
Were you fighting against Stitch already on the Tracer? Stitch very low. Were you looking for the final kill? Eska finds it. Yeah, managed to pick him off. The flying Reinhardt. As Miro comes in, it looks like they're defending for the moment anyway.
And still contesting the payload. Making sure it's not going to be rolling back. Runner, what are you doing that far up, buddy? In a 5 versus 6.
I got a little bit excited, you know?
You definitely did get excited, but you can use the Reinhardt shield to defend that card. He was like jumping on top of the card for some reason.
I don't know. I mean, we know he's not the greatest Lucio we've ever seen, but he's good enough. He's
like, I get you don't want that card to roll back while you're waiting for Stitch to revive, but just let Kaiser stand there and deal with it.
Yeah. Oh, Bumper goes for the hook on the Zimba. Pretty close call, but he doesn't land it. Somebody's got to support Miro there. Uh-oh, Zumba turns to follow Hogsall, and that turns him away from Bumper with the easy hook. I can't believe he lived through that, actually. That was crazy. Miro gets nano boosted away from the fight, and now Jaehoong goes down. This is it. This is Runaway's moment right here. That payload is moving, getting ever closer. And with Who Are You out of the way, and Hogsall getting the kills in the back line, I think that's going to be it. Runaway cruising to a win here on Route 66, and we are going to map 5.
I am very excited, Doa.
Same.
Runaway continues to impress. This is the first team that has pushed Lunatic High to a Game 5 this season. Of course, we expect these matches to get closer as the playoffs continue, but What a change for Runaway here after getting slammed by Kongdu Panthera in the group stages, making these roster moves, reinventing themselves, and finding them nearly punching out at first place in Group A. Have a chance to do it, but it will be Lunatic High's choice of hybrid, and I think that's pretty significant for Lunatic High.
I mean, if we'll see what they pick. It's going to be interesting. The choice is crucial. We know it won't be Eichenwald.
I mean, the fact that Lunatic High gets to pick hybrid, and yeah, for them, Eichenwald didn't work out, but question is King's Row in the pool? Because if I'm Lunatic High, I'm like, King's Row, please.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, Runaway really struggled on King's Row in their match against Kongdu and Xian.
They got bopped pretty hard.
Yeah, they got full health. They didn't even take point A. So yeah, if King's Row is available, I would be shocked if Lunatic High doesn't go for it. And let's see the play of the game first. Ooh, Zumba. A little bit of Zarya play of the game. Alrighty.
Oh, that was the counter graviton that was quite good to help them push through the first point.
Yep.
You could see because he was caught in the enemy graviton that there just wasn't any follow-up. It was sort of just tossed away.
Zumba. And so, waiting to see what that last map choice is going to be.
Talking in the booth right now, but decision has already been made here. And King's Row is not able to be selected, so it will be Hollywood or Nimbani.
Yeah. See what the choice is going to be.
Nimbani, okay. All right. Well, for Lunatic High, they play around Winston and high ground so well that I guess this doesn't come as too much of a surprise.
They can run their Toby Torbjorn on this map too. They have a very, I won't say very unique, but they have their own method of playing defense on this map that they really prefer. And we'll see if it works out.
Well, it's their positioning. When we think about maps that Lunatic High does well on, when you have a lot of high ground in that U formation around the point, then they are very good at punishing people as they advance.
Yeah.
Using high mobility.
That's right.
But that said, Runaway can run Farah on this map, and Lunatic High can't.
That's a good point. It all comes down to this, though. The winner of Nimbani moves on to the semifinals. Let's see who takes it.
I get it.
Well, we really couldn't have asked for anything more for our first winners match here in the quarterfinals. Lunatic High fans and the Runaway fans packing the studio tonight as we go to Map 5, Nimbani. Both teams fighting for that first spot in the Apex Season 2 semifinals.
Is that Eska on Farah? Well, may have to reevaluate. Now, we have seen Who Are You on Farah, but Farah Soldier can be an awkward composition at times.
Yeah.
Runner
Is he
contemplating the
actually going
Torbjorn.
to? Is he actually going to run the Torb?
I think he's trolling. He's like thinking right now, he's like, what are they going to run? He's
To
like,
Torb or not to Torb?
this is actually probably a good choice. If he deals with the turret well, if he places the turret well, he can, especially if there's not a Mercy with the Farah, deal a lot of early chip damage on the
Potentially.
first approach by Farah. And he's going to do it. So we haven't seen Runner play anything but Lucio.
Where is Torbjorn being all that lava?
He's got a lava generator, though. Don't ask questions. This is not where we normally see the turret.
Yeah, that is odd. Okay.
So this,
In fact, that's actually a better turret for Farah to kill.
Yes.
Yeah.
because it does give you a little bit more of a longer line of sight if you fly around the backside, which Eska's going to be doing. This is a big test.
Oh, then again, if you fly in the front, that turret is actually in a pretty good place. So, okay. You countered my counter.
Well, there's also a D.Va standing on top of it to make sure Fire Rocket can't get it.
Yeah. Ah, yeah. He feels the turret right away. And
he
does
feels
not
the mugshot.
survive. Yeah.
Zuma got the turret, but that's
great.
a minor win.
But Ryu takes on Cox. So blows traded on either side.
Too much, though. A couple turrets taken out, but that was most of the kill feed for Lunatic High.
Yeah.
Eska gonna have to show up big on a hero that hasn't really impressed us on. Miro now swapping to Reinhardt and Zunba over to the Zarya. So they know they need to really protect the people who are going to be diving in. Eska immediately switching off as well into the Soldier.
Yep, Runner repositioning his turret now. And now people have armor. So as hard as the fight was last push for Lunatic High, now it's going to be even trickier. They do take a bumper immediately, though. Good push for Lunatic High so far. Oh, response with the kill on the Toby from Kaiser. And Runner just firing down that hallway. Really hard to dislodge the Torb. And that's the end of this push.
That was such a good Winston play from Kaiser. The initial pick strong, and they tried to force their way through, but the Winston got in the middle of everything with the barrier.
Oh!
And Rudder.
Zunba rocks him with the right click in the end. Can they keep him from pushing forward, though? It's a great opportunity to get one of those, like, dead Torbjorn play the games. Not going to happen this time, though, I guess. Eska taken out early. There goes Cox. So kills on both sides yet again, the turret taken out. Jaehong pushes forward. Good start for Miro. They're going to pop the Primal Rage. There's a nano boost onto Miro, though, now. They're on the point. Have they done enough? No, wow. Who are you? Taken out.
Nano boost completely wasted there.
Yeah, they didn't get a single swing
Onto
with
Miro. He basically just bunny hopped his way onto the point with the shield. And they've got a counter with a nice Earth Shatter, but kills have to be a result of this with the sleep dart. The sleep dart.
That sleep dart saved in big time. And Runaway able to save the point with that. By Jaehong. And that was so close. Clutch sleep dart onto Miro from Cox.
And guess what? Molten Core is now available. Lunatic High tried a couple pushes now. They're not going to be switching up anything else, but they don't have the nano boost to couple with the Dragon Blade, which is important when you need to ignore the turret.
And man, is it hard to get rid of a Molten Core turret in that spot. Super annoying.
Back another high ground push right now.
Kaiser up on the high ground as well, disrupt. They're going for it. Oxall on the Diva, of course. And Lunatic High just having a really hard time jumping on the point. They're taking so much damage already.
They're okay. They have the Ana there.
Looking for that turret. There's the Zumba taken down by the hook, and there's a whole hog immediately from bumper afterwards. Stitch pops the attack visor. Can use a lot of ults for this one. But they're still going to save the Molten Core. They're going to save the Primal Rage. So Runaway actually in a great position to full hold this.
I mean, if they full hold this against Lunatic High, it is going to be a huge upset on a map that Lunatic High selected.
Yeah, we got to reevaluate the whole Korean scene at this point.
They only have the Molten Core. Now Lunatic High, finally they have Nano Blade. Can they hit a sleep dart? Can they get this Genji down quickly?
Need to find a good place to put that Graviton Surge as well. Runner takes out.
He kills him.
He kills out. Who are you? Immediately kills him. Not even using the ultimate. Zumba's so low already.
That is so huge.
I know. Graviton Surge. They need to find some way to make this work. Runner not getting a lot out of that Molten Core though. Kills coming in for bumper, and it looks like they may hold. Eska fighting for dear life on the payload, dies right as he gets the attack visor though. Jaehong hooked, taken out, and OG ticking away. And it looks like it's going to be a full hold for Runaway here.
That's a self-destruct celebratory fireworks as a full hold from Runaway. Wow. All they have to do is take point A and they will win. Wow. That was such a huge kill. On to Who Are You? You can see right there Rudder was reenacting it because he got the big pick. But credit Kaiser again, turning into one of the best tanks in Korea. The way he was playing Winston on every high ground push was the key ingredient in disrupting the attack that we saw from Lunatic High.
So true, man. That Winston was able to get it there and buy so much time.
Yes.
Lunatic High just couldn't push onto the point while he was there. Him and Hawksall really did wonders.
This is so impressive. I mean, who would have expected Runaway to make these roster swaps and then come into their own? It's not like the patch changed. They changed their roster and found a new level of synergy. And now we're going to see Toby on the Torbjorn. Problem is that as far as countering Torbjorns are concerned, the advantage, I think, in terms of player hero pool will go over to Runaway.
Well,
Stitch will be on the Pharah.
Lunatic High now. They have to hope to full hold and then win the control map tiebreaker if they want to go to the semifinals.
Eska's playing Mei. Okay, so this means that they're anticipating that there is going to be a Reinhardt push onto the high ground. Because otherwise you would run the soldier here, right? And try and fire from the opposite side of the point. So, but that's not what's happening. If Kaiser and Bumper stay on Winston and D.Va, this Mei is not going to be anywhere near as effective.
It can be tricky to hit
against
that
the Pharah,
Pharah with
too.
I was going to say, yeah.
I think the Mei is an unnecessary risk. Yes, it deals with the high ground pushing Reinhardt compositions, but it really doesn't do anything versus what Runaway is actually going to be running here.
Well, you got to try to make your best educated guess, and
Oh,
it's not turning out great at first glance from Lunatic High.
they're going to know what's happening, though, because they have the D.Va and the turret.
I love the defense matrix on the turret just to buy a little bit of time.
They got 25% ult charge off
Yeah,
of it. It's pretty
very
nice.
nice.
Smart.
Yeah, Hoxall pushing in now. Jaehoon, got to be a hero on this Ana now. Goes for the sleep dart, doesn't land it, and he goes down. This is not a good start. Hoxall with the kill to Jaehoon. Stitch gets the turret again, of course. Now to the high ground kill on Who Are You? There's the wall, but Lunatic High, everybody is nearly dead if you look at the life bars right now. This is it.
Joa.
That's it, man. Runaway. Looks like they're going to go punch their ticket to the semifinals
Eska
right
can't
here.
do anything.
I can't believe it. Runaway coming in on paper.
Oh, my.
Such an underdog in the semifinal, and they will win it 3-2. Runaways going to the semifinals, and Runner
He's so
destroyed the air
excited.
conditioning.
He is
That's a
breaking
line.
the
Whoops.
booth. Come on. Don't
Oh,
need
no.
to destroy things out
There's
of excitement.
fire.
Runner's calm down now, but
We have an
what a huge,
Have a medical
huge
emergency in the booth.
upset.
yeah.
Runaway not only takes out Kongnu Uncia, but they take out Lunatic High to take first place in their group and advance to the semifinals. Wow.
Lunatic High, one of the teams for the entire tournament that people have rightly pegged as a team that could go all the way and win this thing. And who knows now?
You gotta feel heartbroken for Lunatic High on that read. They made a bold choice with the Mei, and it wasn't that the Mei wouldn't work, it just didn't do anything against the composition that they ended up seeing on the first attack. And certainly Eska would have swapped off if given a chance. But
Runner's so excited he nearly jumps to the roof of the booth, but you can't do that, man. There's a real roof on that. You can't wall ride in this thing.
I wish he could wall ride all over the inside of this right now.
Yeah,
Ref has to hold the ceiling together.
that's right. Well, hopefully they'll get that fixed in the commercial break. Who knows, really? But the point is, Runaway wins over Lunatic High 3-2. That's going to be a great gift, Runner. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
That's the gift that keeps on giving.
It's true. Runner. So, going Primal Rage at the end of that one. He doesn't
not
even play Winston.
He's not even the Winston player. Well, huge, huge game.
Yeah.
Congrats, very big win for Runaway.
Absolutely. And Lunatic High, if you're a big Lunatic High fan, they're not out of it yet. Of course, they will play against the winner of our next best of 5 tonight. So they will play against the winner of Kongdu Uncia versus Envious. And those two teams have got to be feeling, I don't know. I guess initially you might feel upset, but then you're like, well, Runaway played really amazingly. And I guess whoever comes down, it's going to be a tough match.
The individual skill that we're seeing on Runaway, I mean, we knew it was there from Hoxall, but with the addition of Stitch, Kaiser really stepping up.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful to watch.
Yep. And you don't mess with the pink sweater club there.
The
They
Grandma
will
Sweater
destroy you.
Club.
That's right.
Intimidating.
They're biding their time, baking cookies and telling you stories about the good old days. Well, now it's time to write a new story about the good old today. Runner will take it to the semifinals. I'm blown away, man. I cannot believe it.
Nor can I.
Absolutely insane.
He's going to carry Runner across the stage now.
No, we've almost had we've had enough potential
this was
injuries
a
in this
team-
match already.
This was a team that went to relegations. They had to fight their way even back into Apex and are now in the top 4.
Wow.
Talk about some good adjustments.
What a result in our first match of the day. And all I got to say, guys, stick around. Envious versus Kongdu Uncia coming up next. And I think we're in for a great night of matches. The first one certainly delivered.
I think you're super sad, though, if you're Kongdu or Envy and you see that, well, oops, Runaway is way better than we thought they were going to be.
Yeah.
And now we have to win against Lunatic High to even make it out of the quarterfinal. A win here will not be enough, but
yeah,
it's do or die tonight.
It's going to be tough.
For Kongdu and Envy.
Well, don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back with Kongdu Uncia versus Envious, the last